So, I'll be the first to admit, I'm not exactly striking while the iron's hot with this video. But anyone who's seen the rest of the videos on my channel recently knows that I just went on a trip to London without breaking my upload schedule until I got back, got sick, and immediately broke it. But while I was there, I got to see the Stranger Things play on the West End, and it was fantastic, as can be expected. It was so fun though. I got this Demogorgon plushie, then I got these cards to go with it, but this isn't a vlog channel. This is a theory channel. And believe it or not, this is actually an extremely important piece of media for the Stranger Things lore. Stuff that wasn't shown in the show for some reason, but absolutely recontextualizes all of the recent seasons. From how Vecna got his powers, what the Mind Flayer actually is, and why Will has been acting strange all of season 4. Well, I mean the other reason he's been acting strange. So without further ado, grab yourself one of those little mini eggs bags, and we'll go on this adventure together. The story of the play follows Henry Creel, this kid who has just moved into Hawkins in the 50s. Now, anyone who's seen the show will recognize Henry as the guy who eventually becomes Vecna after a whole bunch of stuff happens. And this play is about that whole bunch of stuff that happens. Now, Henry has special powers, but his parents want to keep them hidden and repress them. This, does not work very well. Henry's powers are especially important, because as confirmed in the play, all of the children, like 11, were made using Henry's blood. And that's how they got their powers. So he's a rather important piece in this whole story. Now, the majority of the play takes place when Henry is a kid, and there has been a lot of debate about how Henry got his powers, the most common theory being that it was drug use by his mother. However, in the play, we actually learn that it's very different. See, as a kid, he wandered into this cave and went missing for 12 hours. Turns out this is because he fell into the Upside Down. That's not the Upside Down. Not yet, anyways. This is Dimension X. Upon falling into the dimension, Henry was greeted by the Mind Flayer, this weird gas thing that starts controlling him and ends up giving him his powers later. Now, when Henry exits, now he has these weird powers and the Mind Flayer has followed him. Now, Henry is an angsty teen, so eventually he decides to start using his powers for violence, killing a cat in this very grotesque and violent scene that's an important turn for his character. So obviously they made dead cat merch. We also learned that Henry designed the Mind Flayer's body. It was based off of spiders because, I don't know, he really likes spiders, I guess. We also learned that when Henry fell into that dimension at the end of one of those episodes, this wasn't the Upside Down yet. This was that Dimension X that I was talking about before. They are two distinct things, and it gets kind of confusing, because they have Demogorgons, but it isn't the Upside Down. Confused yet? I sure am. We've got 2 bulletin points, and neither of them make any sense. We see that when Henry decides to make the Mind Flayer into an actual physical body, he bases it off of this spider drawing that he made as a child. This is really interesting and is important to note that he formed part of the Upside Down or Dimension X, as they're kind of the same but very different, around his childhood, something that comforts him, because he was in a new and terrifying environment. This is going to be an extremely important plot point for later, so remember it. So, Henry fell into Dimension X as a child, came back with creepy connections to the dimension, and the dimension was bent to his childhood interests and comforts. Now let's take a look at Will. He fell into Dimension X as a child, came back with a creepy connection to the dimension, and it was bent to his childhood comforts and connections. What do I mean by this? Well, we learned in Season 4 that the Upside Down is stuck in 1983. This seems like an odd detail. It's not when the dimension was first opened. It's not when the first person entered the dimension. It's specifically when Will entered the dimension. I think they're trying to draw a parallel between the two characters. I think that Will is supposed to be basically the reflection of Vecna. The two characters are meant to be similar. This is also shown with the characters' personalities. Both of these characters are extremely awkward, for lack of a better word. If you look at them side by side, they're both weird, strange, odd. Synonyms for weird.
Synonyms for weird, odd, strange, queer.
No, I already used that joke. Basically, my theory is that Will has powers, and that when he first fell into the Upside Down, he was so scared that he subconsciously made the entire area of Dimension X into his hometown. My evidence for this? It's just vibes, man. Admittedly, there's not a bunch of hard evidence for this theory. However, I think it makes sense from a storytelling perspective, and come on guys, I just made an entire video watching a game trailer frame by frame. Let me chill for this one. But I'm sure you guys have learned at least something from this video, and as much as I loved my time there, I was super jet-lagged the whole time, so there's a good chance I missed something. But I just think that it would be a good storytelling device, and I wanted to share that with you guys. Plus, there's still those guys that are trapped in the Upside Down, and I feel like that's a really cool avenue to explore for storytelling purposes. Am I foreshadowing something? But I mean, this is just my theoretical interpretation of it. If you guys have your theories, leave them in the comments. I make a point to read every single comment, which isn't too hard because these videos get about 20 views max. So, feel free to leave your theories in the comments, and I will definitely give them a read and maybe a shout out if I think that there's actually some valid points behind it. But until next time, remember, Vecna is Will, Ralsei is Flowey, and this has been Tater Animations trying to do a YouTube video. Hey guys, end card time. I've got a clip of me making the thumbnail for this video because it went through a lot of different variations, and I wanted to share that with you. I'm almost out of mini eggs, so, you know. That's why this video isn't as long, because I ran out of mini eggs. So if you guys want longer videos, give me mini eggs. I'm not going to tell you to like or subscribe. Subscribing doesn't even help the algorithm. It just makes me happy. But I get it. You know, you don't care about my feelings. I just don't matter to you. It's nothing personal. I get it. But if the guilt tripping works, you know, feel free to subscribe. That would be really swell of you. Just please don't unsubscribe. I know it's a lot to ask, but it gets kind of annoying when people just flip-flop between being subscribed and unsubscribed. Just, you know, it's not that big a deal. It's just kind of like letting your buddy know, hey, you can tell me if you got anything coming up. Anyways, I've rambled on for long enough. See you guys.